Hello, and thank you for joining me again for another episode of Moving Mountains podcast. Once again, I'm Trishina Barzar Hunter, Master Certified Transformational Life Coach, Emotional Intelligence Coach, as well as Relationship and Sexuality Coach. I know you could spend your time doing anything and listening to anyone, but I appreciate you for being here and listening with me. I certainly hope that this episode provides you some value, helps you to make some change and move mountains in your life.
Hey, beautiful people. It has been far too long since I stopped and did a podcast and talked to you and shared with you. And I really can't say that I have a specific reason why, except for I've been living. I have been enjoying the moments. I have been soaking in life. I've been enjoying my children. And I've even been looking at myself. And I think that's something that we get so busy in life that we forget to do. Our jobs take a lot from us. Our families take a lot. Spouses, marriages, relationships, children. There are hundreds of demands on our time every single day. And it gets really easy to get lost in it all. For those of you that have been following my podcast over the last year, you know that I life coach. I work with people every day. I help people move mountains. I help people overcome trauma, overcome loss, crisis, pain, PTSD, you name it. I work with the people that aren't here for the rah-rah, tell me how I can fix it all in 15 minutes. So I've been doing a lot of the work. I've been really in the trenches trying to help people better themselves and get to the other side of pain and trauma and fear or lack of self-confidence. But I found myself moving way too fast. Way too fast. Before I knew it, my daughter was turning 18 and she was graduating high school in 2021 rather. And as we all know that 2020 and 2021 just kind of merged into each other, right? They just kind of morphed into one long, tumultuous year that didn't make sense to any of us. But it's like I looked up and it was my 43rd birthday, and then it was my daughter's senior formal, and then she was graduating high school. And then we were preparing her for things, and it just seemed like life was going 100 miles an hour. And somewhere along the way, I don't think I was living. I don't think I was breathing. I don't think I was seeing, and I certainly was not facing me. And during all of that, some things about myself that I had not faced resurfaced, things that I thought I was over with 15 years ago came up, resurfaced, and frankly slapped me in the face. You know, we talk a lot about mental health. We talk about self-care. We talk about being in harmony. We talk about meditation. We talk about mindfulness. All of those things are talked about. But we don't do enough talking about facing ourselves. We do okay facing the us we put on social media, or the us we pretend to be on holidays around family, or when we're out with friends, or trying to be the life of the party. But very rarely do we sit down and face ourselves, face our pain, face our loneliness, our grief, our anger, our stress, our joy, or even our wins. We simply don't make the time to sit down and face everything that's happening in our lives or has happened because we're too busy focused on absolutely everything else. One of the things that I do in my coaching when I talk to people is you're working towards your goal. And if you're working towards your goal, you have to have rewards along the way. Because society and life teach us all the time and train us that once you hit one milestone or once you hit one goal or accomplish something, you just move on to the next thing. You just up the ante and just keep moving forward without pausing to take it all in, without pausing to be grateful for the accomplishment that you just had. We're conditioned that way. We're conditioned to just keep pushing through, to just keep moving forward, not to stop to think about it. There's a saying that says, fear is pain leaving the body. And I can't stand it because it's bullshit. That's not what fear is. Or people will say fear is false evidence appearing real. No, fear is fear. Because there's things that happen in this life that require fear because they're scary. They're potentially harmful. Or you have something to lose. So I encourage you, as you're listening to this podcast, to make a little time every day to face yourself. You may get up every morning and you may shower and brush your teeth and comb your hair, do your makeup and all those things. But you can do all those things and never really look in the mirror. I talk to people all the time that haven't looked in the mirror and faced themselves in months. And they do their hair and makeup or their hair every single day. So every day, pause. Take 10 seconds and look in the mirror. Get to know the person staring back at you. And look at that individual and say, I love you. You are making progress. You are dope as hell. Talk to you. Make time for you. Make space for you. Because you matter. And all the things that have made you who you are, all the things that have created you, matter. Don't let everything else take your time, effort, and energy. Because when you don't stop and look at you, when you don't stop and deal with all the things that are rumbling inside of yourself, you risk it all blowing up. And when it blows up, it sets you back in ways that you can never imagine. You'll find yourself trying to fight and crawl out of places you thought you would never go again. Setbacks you thought that you were way over, that were dead and gone. We all have the same 24 hours in the day, right? Same number of days in the week, same months, same number of months in the year. Make sure when you're looking at your time, you're setting aside 15% just for you. Don't give anybody anything, any circumstance, any job, any person, 100% of your time, 100% of your efforts, 100% of your energy. Stockpile and reserve some of your time, effort, and energy for yourself, to deal with yourself, to deal with your shit, to deal with your emotions, to deal with your successes, to deal with your dreams. Because they take time, they take effort, they take energy. And if you give it all away, what do you have left for you? I encourage you, I implore you to spend time facing you. Some of you listening are going to face you and go, you know what? I'm awesome. And some of you are going to really have a hard time looking in the mirror because you don't like the person looking back at you. And that doesn't mean the person looking back at you is not actually awesome. But you may not know it yet. Spend some time each day getting to know you again. Learning to love you. Learning to accept you. Learning how to give yourself grace and forgiveness for not being perfect, for making mistakes, for not getting it all right. You know, as parents, we learned a lot while our kids were home learning about what they were going through. And some of us, myself included, were really hard on ourselves as parents. We felt like failures because we couldn't fix it. We couldn't put it all back together. We couldn't be teachers because that's just not who we were. So we figured that we were failing because our kids were struggling in an environment that they weren't prepared for. Or at least that's my story. Maybe no one else can relate to that. But nobody is perfect. We put these unrealistic expectations on ourselves that we will absolutely never make. But we're not perfect. And every single person listening to me this evening or this morning, whenever you're listening, deserves grace from yourself, deserves forgiveness from yourself. If there's anger inside of you, pause and deal with your anger. If it's sadness, deal with it. If you accomplished something recently, if you had a win, if you got a promotion, if you got a new house, had a baby, whatever it is, pause and be in the moment. Take it in, enjoy it, and be grateful. Life can get really dark. It can really get heavy, and it can seem hopeless. But there is always something in your life that's worth being grateful for. So find that one thing every day. Process your emotions, whatever they are. Work through your shit. Face yourself. Face your shit. And give yourself grace and forgiveness along the way. And praise yourself for the progress that you're making. Because you're worth it. And you have earned it. And you deserve it. As always, I am grateful for your time. And I thank you for continuing to listen to me. Have a great day.
If you have enjoyed this episode and you want to keep in contact with me, you can locate me both on Facebook and Instagram. The handles on both of those sites are going to be at Moving Mountains Coach. My website is www.movingmountainslifecoach.com. Again, www.movingmountainslifecoach.com. I do look forward to hearing from you. Reach out to me, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think, share it with your friends. And of course, if you'd like to book a one-on-one session with me, I am available. Go to my website, contact me on Facebook or Instagram. I am happy to chat with you and get you booked for an introductory discovery session in terms of what it's like to work with a master certified life coach. Have a great day. And remember, every mountain can be moved if you are willing to take the first step.